Hi, I'm Donna Druchunas. I'm part Lithuanian, so I've been interested in Lithuania my whole life, and I grew up hearing about Lithuania when it was part of the Soviet Union, but my grandmother never admitted that Lithuania was part of the USSR. It was always a separate country to us, and we talked about it and read stories in the paper about Lithuania, and so I've always known what Lithuania is. But I find that a lot of people I talk to, my friends and coworkers, don't really know where Lithuania is or what the country is about. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Lithuania is part of Eastern Europe, and it's in with the Baltic states, Latvia and Estonia, on the eastern side of the Baltic Sea. So if you start at Lithuania and go towards Western Europe, you come to Poland and then Germany. And if you start at Lithuania and go north, you come to Latvia, Estonia, and then Finland across the water again. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of where the country is. So as I said, I got interested in Lithuania because I am part Lithuanian, and I heard about Lithuanian culture and history and things when I was a child, sitting around the table. I ate Lithuanian foods for Christmas and New Year's and different holidays. And so it was just part of my life. I didn't know anything about Lithuanian knitting at the time, though, because my Lithuanian grandmother only crocheted and she just made hats. I learned how to knit when I was a little girl, but I learned that from my other grandmother, who was Russian. So Lithuanian knitting was something I didn't hear about until I was an adult, and I started knitting again in my mid-30s and got interested in all kinds of things about knitting.
Lithuanian Knitting, Continuing Traditions will be a book filled with stories about my travels in Lithuania with my co-author, June Hall, who comes from Cumbria, England. She's also part Lithuanian, and she introduced me to many of the wonderful people that I met around the country of Lithuania. The book will also include chapters about the history and culture of Lithuania, with over 25 projects that include full color charts and detailed step-by-step instructions for you to make mittens, gloves, socks, and wrist warmers. There's a technique section too that'll introduce you to some new and fun techniques that I learned about while doing my research. This Pub Slush campaign is to raise money I need to make the book as absolutely gorgeous as possible. I want to print this book in Lithuania to support the local economy and small printing businesses over there. And I've worked with a Lithuanian art director, so the whole project has the look and feel of a book that was designed in Eastern Europe. I've also had a Lithuanian proofreader help me with all of those kinds of details of the language and information about the country to make sure that I didn't get anything wrong. And June and I had lots of other support from the knitting community in Vilnius and all around the country. Here in North America, we've hired the best creative team possible to take our vision, to take our manuscript and all of our little pieces to create a book that is as beautiful as it is interesting and useful for you to knit the projects. So, the best part of the campaign, I think, is the fun and special handmade rewards I've made for you. So take a look at what you'll get for the different contribution levels, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch and listen to this. Lithuanian Knitting, Continuing Traditions.